Happy Monday, everyone. I hope you had a fantastic Easter weekend if you celebrate and enjoyed the warmer weather. At least that's what it's been like here on the East Coast. So every week, I talk to parents who note that their child is really smart, but these parents are confused as to why their child still struggles with challenging behaviors and poor decision making. It seems like they're one age academically, but another age emotionally, almost like toddlers emotionally. So if you can relate, drop a comment so that other parents don't feel like it's just their child, that they're all alone. So the comments in the community are my favorite part of supporting you guys because I think the strong sense of community is one of the best tools that we have in our parenting toolbox. So give a shout out or a comment if you have one of those kids who you know is really, really intelligent, really bright, but then still struggles to make good decisions. So before we jump in, let me introduce myself. If we haven't met yet, my name is Melissa Corkum, and I am a post-adoption support specialist, bringing you brain-based solutions to challenging behaviors so that you can laugh more and yell less. You can find out more about the work that I do with parents at thecorkboardonline.com. I also co-host the Adoption Connection podcast. Now, if you happen to be watching this video as a replay on YouTube or Instagram TV, I would invite you to join us. We have a private support group at thecorkboardonline.com/Facebook where you can ask your questions, get interaction from other parents, get advice from me, and actually great advice from other parents as well. So we would love for you to join us in the group. Okay, so let's start with a mini brain lesson. Our brains develop from the bottom up. So if we think about a house, they develop like from the foundation up, which makes sense because that's how we would build a house. So the first thing that comes online is that foundational part. And this is the part of our brain that tells our body to do the automatic things that none of us ever think about. These are things like our heart beating, reminding ourselves to breathe, blink, your digestive system, all the things that your brain controls 100% in your subconscious. Then the next level up, maybe the first level, if we were talking about a house, is our emotional regulation system, and also the part of our brain that monitors what we call our neuroception, or whether or not the brain or the nervous system senses that we're safe in our environment. And then the very last, the top level, is what we call the thinking part of our brain. So if your child was exposed to stress or trauma while the emotional system was developing, or even that foundational system, then that brain, that nervous system, might not have the skills it needs to self-regulate. And I know a lot of you watching are parenting kids who came to you through adoption or foster care. So we know for a fact that there were disruptions in that brain development for that emotional regulation layer of the brain or level of the house. But even if that foundation or the first level didn't develop optimally, brain development still marches on. So your child may have learned academic skills in the upper part of their brain, the thinking part of their brain, even though they were lacking a really strong foundation of emotional regulation skills. So basically, academic intelligence, the part that says, my kid can do these things in school, or my kid knows algebra, and the emotional intelligence of my kid doesn't know how to share or how to take no, accept no, or how to transition or how to be disappointed without a huge blow up. Those two things have been in completely different parts of the brain. So it makes sense that you could experience what we call dysmaturity, where the different domains of development, the different parts of the brain, are out of sync. They've developed not all the optimal way that it was supposed to. Okay, so now the part that's probably the more important to you, which is, Melissa, what do I do about this if my child is experiencing dysmaturity? Well, I have a whole in-depth course about this, and this is something I work on with private coaching clients, because it's kind of like opening Pandora's box, and there's no quick fix. But I want to tell you something that's super, super easy that you can start implementing right now. And that's for you to know that repetition plus rhythm plus relationship equals regulation. In fact, I didn't make a banner for this, but I'm going to make one right now because people are going to ask. So repetition plus rhythm plus relationship equals regulation. Okay. So there it is right there. Repetition plus rhythm plus relationship equals regulation. And I love all things alliteration. And so this makes it hopefully a little bit easier for your brain to remember. And so what are things that are repetitive, rhythmic, and relational? There are lots of them, but let me just give you a quick example. A daily walk with your child. It happens daily or on most days, so it's repetitive. It's happening over and over again. Walking is rhythmic. And even the steps that you're taking have, like most things that are rhythmic, also have repetition built in. So there's the repetitiveness of like, we do it more than just once, but also the repetition of the activity itself is repetitive and rhythmic. And then we do it in a safe relationship. So if you have other ideas of things that you know are repetitive, rhythmic, and relational, or if you're wondering, oh, I wonder if this thing that I'm doing with my kid is rhythmic, repetitive, and relational, then go ahead and comment with those ideas. I will also say that I found that most of my child's most annoying behaviors, the tapping, the humming, the spinning, all of those things are things that I've noticed are now things I tell people signal safety and regulation to the nervous system. So tapping is repetitive and rhythmic. Now, of course, it's not relational necessarily, but it's like, it's another clue, right? That my child's behaviors are telling me that he is trying to regulate. So if you would like to explore this more, join me for an upcoming live Q&A. You can register at thecorkboardonline.com/group. The link's right there. And I'd love to talk about this more. These groups are donation-based, so pay what you're able and join us for a conversation. Remember, until next time, you are a good parent and you're doing good work. I'll see you soon.